Alright, so let's pick today up with the Abyssal Demon task. This is where we left off yesterday. So, with any luck, today will be the day we get our Abyssal Whip. I mean, obviously that's why people do these things. Abyssal Whip or Abyssal Head would be cool, because then we could get a Red Slayer Helm. With 1,000 points, of course, but for today I'd be happy with just a good old Abyssal Whip, honestly. Now, I alt-tabbed, I thought that was it. Now, in theory, we should be pretty close to the Abyssal Whip, and I say that because this task should, just know it should put us over the 512 total KC that is required for the Abyssal Whip. Now, let me take a look. Because it's 1 in 512 drop rate. Okay, we're going to be close. We'll be at about 479 or 480-ish by the end of the task. So, as long as our RNG is good, we should be pretty close to an Abyssal Whip drop. Would be nice to get that 2 mil. But we'll also be 85 strength by the end of this task for sure, so that's really nice as well. I think for what it's worth, like the task is, it's good. You know, it's not bad, but I do like to use my Acolyte. It would also be nice if I got any totem pieces. I believe I'm 1 away from doing Skatizo. So if you manage to get any totem pieces, or these things are cool too, the Ensouled Abyssal Heads. The Ensouled Abyssal Heads are actually pretty good as well. But for the most part, I do this task, one, just because the XP is really good. If I was really, really super good on rune crafting, yeah, no, it usually doesn't. I mean, I've heard of people getting 4 Abyssal Whips on a task. I've witnessed Iron Men go like 600 plus, or no, 800 plus without getting one. So regardless though, we'll get a strength level by the end of the task, so I guess that's really all that's important. You know, you gotta think of the good stuff. So we're only 47k until 85 strength. As for Slayer level, I won't be getting that for a little while, but regardless, I mean, we'll get it eventually. This task is good XP. If I really, really wanted an Abyssal Whip drop, which I don't really care too much, you know, I just start bursting these things. But I already have a whip and we're not an Iron Man, so it'd be pointless. But I love how good the Acolyte is on these things. I believe my max is a 37 with super strength potions. Or no, 38, because we just hit a 38 a little bit ago. So our max, I believe, is 38 with this setup. Which isn't too bad, I guess, being 84 strength. That's probably, you know, it's 37 with a whip, I think. So Acolyte, I think, is +1 max hit. But, you know, we don't have an Abyssal Dagger or anything, so that's why we use an Acolyte. But Acolyte's also really good here, so it's totally fine. And I have, like, another 8,000 charges in the bank. I think I have, like, 30 Ancient Shards, if not more. So, I mean, it's so I feel like I just should start using my charges, because Acolyte's pretty good. But yeah, best case scenario, we get Superior. That would be hella good. I've never actually seen the Abyssal Demon Superior, but it's pretty much just like all the other ones. It's basically just like a big Abyssal Demon. Although I think Abyssal Sire looks bigger and badder than the superior Abyssal Demons. But I'm pretty sure it's supposed to, because Sire is supposed to be like a boss. Or is a boss, rather, so, you know, that would be why, but After this, I really should do that farming trip. I just couldn't be bothered last night. It's been probably a good 2 days, if not a little more, since we did our farming trips. But at 62 Herblore, we can do super restores. Not that it matters too much, but I have like 100 I can make. I use all my Snapdragon seeds for monster drops to pretty much fund all my, well, not fund, but make all my potions. Well, yeah, fund my Herblore, but I buy prayer potions as needed. These heads are about 2k per XP each, if not more, so that's why I always say the ensouled heads are not a bad drop. We are 61k off of 69 prayer. So, I mean, that's not too bad. I could probably get 70 by the end of today if I grinded green dragons all day. Pretty easily, but why bother? It's like, you know. Main thing I think you gotta remember though when you do this shit is, you know, don't worry about RNG. You know what I'm saying? Just focus on the levels. And, you know, everything else will come a lot easier. So, if I sat here all day saying to myself, well, there's another failed whip drop or whatever, you know, it wouldn't be very interesting or it wouldn't be very fun. So, I always like these little drops. Until you actually do the ensouled heads and pick all of them up and realize how good the prayer XP is from those things. Like, I mean, it's crazy. It's better than Dragon Bones. I think it's even better than Dagonoth Bones. Maybe I don't know. I don't know about Dagonoth, because Dagonoths are about 400 plus for like 465 prayer, I think, on a Gilded Altar. So, you know, that's 1632 for, yeah. So that's pretty good XP, but either way, ensouled heads are also very good. I think it's a little bit wrong so to use the ensouled abyssal head, you would need 85 Slayer to get the prayer XP from it. Otherwise, you won't be able to do any damage. Same thing with the demon head. The demon heads that the greater and lesser demons and black demons drop, I guess just because they're all categorized as demons, you need 85 Slayer to do any of them. But now that we're 85 Slayer, we can now be happy we're getting those kind of drops. It's my second favorite drop probably out of all of them besides, you know, I don't really care for the rune chains. If I had the option, I would trade all my rune items that these things drop for abyssal heads. Because it really doesn't take long to use all of them. You know, when it comes to the ensouled heads, all you do is just drop them, cast a spell on them, and they have maybe like 50 to 100 health. It's super fast. Make sure we're super potted as well. Yeah, we're good. I thought about bringing my Guthans here, but it's just kind of a waste. You know, it's just better to just take a bunch of food, potions, all that kind of stuff. The bank run is somewhat far, I guess you could say. Just gotta almost misclick the Iron Dragon. If I misclick the Iron Dragon, he'd probably hit us like a 40, maybe 30-ish. Because we have no anti-fires or shield. I don't understand why they put it in such close proximity. I think there is maybe another Abyssal Demon spot in here. No, I guess not. We could go a little bit. I usually stand on this area though. You could also do these at the Slayer Tower, but then you won't be able to get the totem pieces or ancient shards. So that's why I always grind these out in the catacombs. Compared to all the other monsters and everything like that, you know, like normally, for example, if you do, like, let's see, the greater demons are level 108, whereas the ones at Kramja are like 80 or 90-ish. So usually everything in the catacombs is a buffed variant of a monster that can be found anywhere else in the game. But the Abyssal Demons, I think, are like the exact same level. I don't think they have any more health than the Slayer Tower. So it just makes sense to do these here. And then Arclight always for strength training, I guess, on these things. As long as I have shards. But that's pretty much just my go-to setup these days. I don't really know what I'm going to buy next in terms of gear setups. I thought about primordials or something, but, you know, at the same time, I don't know if it would be better to invest in, you know, just max range gear. Because this setup seems to be going alright. The only thing I could really upgrade, I guess, is just like Brander's Tacits or primordials. But for the price range, I really don't think it's that worth it. That's the only issue that I see with all of that. You know, like 20 mil for 2 strength bonus and 1 prayer bonus. Whereas Varak Skirt has, I think, better defense stats, or maybe slightly less. I'm not totally sure. I haven't compared with Tacits. But for being 65 def and compared to all the other strength armors, Tacits actually has really good defense. But I'm never really sure if I should just get max range gear first, when I get the money for it, obviously, or if I should just grind out for Tacits or primordials next. So if anybody has any suggestions or whatever, let me know, man. It just takes so long to get like 5 mil plus. I mean, technically it wouldn't if I got better RNG, but since I never really get good at RNG, it does take a while to get that kind of money. Especially since I stopped doing Konar, but that's why we're doing Slayer. Whenever we get 91 Slayer, we can just start grinding out Cerberus, so I'll probably buy a Zami Spear at that point, or a Zami Hasta, I mean. So that, you know, the stab on the Hasta is apparently necessary for a lot of high-level bosses or other mobs, so Zami Hasta is definitely among my like top 10 items that I want to get someday soon. Hasta would own a Green Dragons, I can tell you that much. Or I guess Rune Dragons as well if we did the quest. It's just a matter of whether or not, I mean, I'm not gonna bother with it until like 91 or Cerberus, I guess, because I don't really see the point. You know, it's like 12 mil, if not more, for the Hasta. And Cerberus is a Hellhound, so yeah. Dragon Hunter Lance would be kind of pointless there. If I ever if I ever got a Hasta, you know, I'd probably just, like I said, yeah, I don't think I'll bother with that until I'm at least 91 Slayer. And at that point, we should be making big money off shit like Cerberus and, I don't know. By then, my stats should be high enough for Abyssal Sire as well. So that'll always be pretty nice. And we're also less than 30k. Oh, shit. 16k until 80 attack. So yeah, we can do Abyssal Sire, I think. Around 80, or around 90 strength and 85 attack and strength should be fine. With an Arclight, of course. 6,500, wow. I actually seem to be going through these quite a bit. Or I guess the charge is quite fast. But you figure you use probably well over 10 per demon, so yeah, I guess that, so let's say 10 each, that's 1,360 per task. Yeah, I guess that sounds close to being about right. Maybe 20 each a demon, because I had about, I think it holds like 9,000 or 10,000 charges, and we had 2 Abyssal Demon tasks. The only other thing that I use Arclight for at the moment is Skatizo. So besides Skatizo, we just do it on the Abyssal Demons. I tried it on Black Demons a while ago, but when I did the Black Demons with the Arclight, it actually was worse than the Abyssal Whip. So I'm not entirely sure why that was, but for Abyssal Demons, I think that the Arclight's better, because you have more max hit and you can just train out pure strength. So that's why I always use the Arclight. Strength bonus or strength-wise, Arclight sucks though. So never use it off of a demon task. I think it's only like +8 strength bonus. As horrible as that is, but you can still bang 38s with it. Just because of the fact that, well, I mean, whatever your strength is, you can hit higher, but just because it's, I think it's +15, so with the mask and the Arclight on this task, I think we have a +30% damage bonus. I think that's what it is. I think it's +15. Yeah, I mean, it's just like, I'd rather just get Bear's Gloves overall. Unless, what's Ferocious' strength bonus over Bear's though? Isn't it only like +1? I think it's like +1. But I do see what you're saying. That could be a possibility. Ferocious Gloves. Let me look up the stats really quick. Okay, so you need 80 attack and defense to equip them. But yeah, +2 strength. The only thing that I see negative with them right now is that they have no defense bonuses. But and then they have negative range and magic bonus. But besides that, they do actually look like they have pretty. What's the price on them? Okay, it doesn't say. Yeah, Ferocious Gloves could be a possibility. They give +2 over Bears, and then +4 attack stats. The only thing though, like I said, no defense bonus. I don't know. I find I'll have to test Abyssal Sire and all that kind of shit eventually later on, but I also need one more attack level to use Ferocious Gloves, but I'll have to test them out eventually at some point because you know, one thing that one thing, Abyssal Sire would be very easy, but I just take too much damage, so I'm gonna have to try or see about getting more defense bonus or defense stats so I can do Abyssal Sire. All the other guides I've watched that people have done it, they really didn't take much damage at all at Abyssal Sire. But the little death spawns for some reason hit me way too much. So I'm just, like I said, I'm just guessing my defense is probably just too low. Or my defense stats, so I gotta try and just maximize my defense and my DPS. So after we get, like I said, like 90 strength, 85 attack and defense, then I'll start trying Abyssal Sire again. Still no whip drop though, as unfortunate as they may be. Ferocious Gloves though are about the same, probably as Primordials in terms of attack bonuses, but you don't really get any defense bonus. That's the negative that I see. From what I've done through PVM so far, when you do bosses, defense stats is actually quite important. And then Primordials are just a slight upgrade to the Dragon Boots in terms of attack stats and defense. And I don't think they give any prayer bonus. Now they have no prayer bonus, but you know, still an improvement overall. But I think Tacits would be better than Primordials. I don't know. People say that the attack bonus from the Primordials actually makes a decent difference, even though it's only like +2 or 3 or something. But I don't really know the effects of it. I do remember though a while ago, there was this private server that I played, and the guy messed up one of the coding things, and every time you attacked, it would show your, in the chat, it would show your actual like percentage and accuracy versus the versus your chance to hit. And when I was doing it with range, like every like 5 attack bonus or like every 1 attack bonus increased my total chance to hit by like 2 or 3% on the accuracy rolls. So if that is the case, then that +1 or +2 attack stats would actually really help. but I don't know the actual formula for if it's all the same for actual RS or if that was just the private server. Because other than that, I haven't really seen anything about it. But yeah, torture army. I might just try, like if I boss or something, I'll probably use a Fury, honestly. I don't know, actually, because they say, I don't know, you know? I'll just get my stats higher, try it again, and then make adjustments as needed. But I'll try and maximize my DPS first. Everything's just too expensive in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? Tacits are a good 20 mil. As long as they've been out, I'm kind of surprised that the price is still so high. But I guess in that same concept though, to be fair, it's still like best in slot for the legs. You know, there's no other armor that gives strength and prayer and has those defense stats. So, I mean, I guess it makes sense. Armadillo I think is way overpriced, Armadillo armor. But that's my opinion on that. I might buy a Justiciar someday. I think that's pretty good buy for the money. At least the helm, because the helm's pretty good for like range or, you know, because the stats on the helm, I don't think they have negative attack stats. I could be wrong, but let me look at this. Okay, it has -2 range bonus, but it has very good everything else. So yeah, I might buy Justiciar someday. Yeah, I mean, it's like I still can't afford it at that price anyway, so it's not too big of a deal. I only have like 12 mil cash. Yeah, I might buy Justiciar someday. That would be really good for God Wars and shit. Especially the helm. The helm would be really nice. Or I guess the full set would be cool too. The defense stats on Justiciar, and Justiciar is also pretty cheap. At least for like what it does. I mean, yeah, it's only 16 mil each, but the helm's stat-wise, I could see myself using the helm for God Wars and shit. Or even, I guess, Sire or whatever I decide to do. But that's probably why the helm's so much more expensive. Because everybody else would be using Bando's chestplate and tacits. So, you know, or, you know, Armadillo or whatever you're doing. But the helm actually is pretty good. It's basically like a better Virak helm, really. With more defense stats, I think. Maybe not. I'll take a look really quick. Yeah, it has slightly better defense than a Virak's helm. All the other stats are the same though. -6 magic, -2 range. But it has over or almost over 10 to every defense stat. So yeah, one day hopefully we can get a Justiciar helmet. That would be really nice for God Wars and everything else like that. On task, of course, though, we always use a Slayer helm. That's the only thing. I think Justiciar looks really nice, though, too. Justiciar looks freaking amazing. I know a lot of people say they don't really like it, but I've always liked how it looks. It almost looks to me like Vesta's. I've always been a big fan of Vesta armor, the way it looks. $34 left until 85 strength as well. It's Vestas and Statias. I've always liked those two armor sets. I never really liked how they degrade though. I think that sucks. Maybe in PvP I think they could degrade. That would be fine, but outside of PvP, I always hated how they always degraded the armor set. Like bears, you know? But I'm just talking cosmetically, those things, that armor set looked amazing. But yeah, it looks similar to Justicia, I guess. A little bit similar. I think they did a good job designing it. And then apparently you have the crystal armor that's coming out soon, I guess, with the new quest. Although I doubt I'm going to be doing the quest for it. You know, it'll probably take a very long time and probably need a lot of high requirements. But the crystal armor will probably be best in slot if they do it properly for defense stats. Crystal shield, I hear crystal shield's also really good as is now. I wouldn't mind a crystal bow though someday, but I'm not sure the crystals work, but I do believe I should be able to do regicide now because I did get 52 agility. But I'll probably do the quest when I get around like 55, 56. Just so I don't have to use so many agility potions or restores. But crystal shield would be also pretty good to get, I believe. Normally though, I just rock my blessed spirit shield on that, but I did pick up a twisted buckler a couple days ago for about 5 mil. Around there. Yeah, so the twisted buckler is still about the same price. About 5.8, 5.9-ish. I don't really see the twisted buckler dropping too much in the future. I say that because, like, you know. Oh, are they adding potions? What's that, like a overload or something? I don't know, you know, I'm just happy I don't do PvP anymore. If I was doing PvP, shit like that would really actually kind of be a negative thing in my opinion. But in terms of like, it'll probably need a high herbal requirement as well, which I probably won't have the requirement to make the potions anyway. But I mean, eventually I should have enough herbal. As long as I keep up with my farming trips, eventually I should have decently high herbal levels. But I just can't be bothered. I just can't be bothered farming all the time. It just takes like a good 15 minutes out of my day. But crystal armor might be better than Justicia, I don't know. It'll probably degrade though, that's the only thing. I just absolutely hate using armor that degrades. As much as it doesn't really take to repair Bear's armor, I hate using it because it always degrades and I gotta repair it. Yesterday my Varak skirt degraded on the middle of my task. So then I had to swap out to initiate for the prayer bonus. I wish they would just add maybe like a 5 mil sync that would allow you to permanently use Bear's armor where it never breaks. Or maybe 10 mil, I don't know. Because I guess the whole point of it is the gold sync. So just make it like 10 mil and make it not degrade anymore. I think that would help me out a ton if they just did something like that. I just never liked the idea of wearing armor that just eventually breaks. I mean, now you can just always repair it, but regardless, it's very annoying. Well, still no whip. Probably not going to get one on this task. But 21 off until 85 strength, so that's always nice. Looks like I will have to bank soon, though, unfortunately. There's our last of our potions. I guess I could bring like 3 supersets. I don't know. I mean, 2 seems to be pretty good. We're almost... we're not almost out of food, but, you know, it's about... I guess you just want to kind of time it so that, you know, by the time you're out of food, you still have potions to use. But, you know, Abbey Demons, they don't really hit too much. I think out of all the Slayer monsters that need that high requirement, I mean, I would say that Spiritual Mages are harder than these things. You know, as long as you're not basically safe spotting the mages, you know, they do a lot less damage. But for the level and the Slayer requirement, Abyssal Demons, I would say, are probably the easiest ones, or like mobs, monsters you can ever do when you get to these levels. You know, gargoyles I think are harder. Well, I don't know. These things do hit somewhat often, but not that often, you know, not to the point that it's like, it's really like not really any issue when they hit you. So yeah, we'll also pick up the adamant bars. You know, we'll try and make this task as profitable as we can. You know, normally I just leave the bars on the ground, but it's one of the best drops that we can get on this task, besides whips. 2,000 each, you know, we'll just pick them all up. And I don't know, if we manage to finish this task today before I log out, then I'll probably do a farming trip. Or I'll at least do 2 patches so I can plant my Snapdragon seeds. I guess that's more important, is just to get the Snapdragons in and harvested. If I'm not mistaken, I think I have some Raynars planted right now that need harvested. It's just like I don't really need prayer potions right now, and I don't have any more Raynar seeds. And as for papaya tree runs or fruit runs, like, they just take a while. I do like the feature though where you can pay them to cut the trees down for you, or I guess remove the tree for you. But I don't really see willow trees as being a viable option for farming training. Even though it would net me about 10k XP per run extra if I do all my tree runs. Because willow trees are about 3k each, so, you know, if you do about all 3, maybe all 4 your regular tree patches, that'll be about, you know, 10 to 15k extra XP on willow trees. And then the other ones, like, you know, maples and all that, it's just not worth it price-wise. But what's our my XP though? We need 20k until 67, which really isn't a lot. I might actually be able to get 68.7 farming by the time we do our next fruit tree run. Or we'd either get it the next level, or the next tree run, or we would be pretty close. Yeah, it's not really worth it. I might get 99 fire making someday. You know, it doesn't take long, but you get so many good seeds. When I did it, when I was doing fire making, I was making over one mil per day at Wintertide, easily, in just seeds and other miscellaneous drops. Like, the money was actually enough to sustain a bond really easy at the time. Because back then I didn't really have like any high stats. Like, I was maybe like 75 range or so. You know, it was when I was just kind of learning the game from a long, like, 3-year break. And Wintertide was insane money. Tons of seeds. I think if you want to get farming levels quick, just do Wintertide and you know, just do farming trips in the meantime for a little bit of extra cash for the herbs. And honestly, you should be able to get a lot of seeds in like a few days. I had probably like 4, maybe 5 U seeds in approximately like 3 days. I had, I think, 2 magic seeds, and then occasionally, you know, you would just get a bunch of like raw fish and other supplies. So, I mean, if anybody hasn't done Wintertide yet, or, you know, I highly recommend it. And 99 farming takes like a week, maybe 2 weeks from level 60 if you play somewhat regularly. It really doesn't take long at all. It's amazing. I love it. So one day a rune buy. Interesting. 12k. Yeah, so someday I might get 99 farming. I don't mind the 99 cape, but you know, I don't really care about getting 99 capes too much at this point in my Runescape career. I usually just wear my fire cape anyway, because I think it looks a lot cooler. But occasionally I do whip out the old skill cape, because I still think they do look cool, but if I want a fashion scape, sometimes I just put the range cape on. But honestly, fire making is a very good skill. It's a very good 99 especially. The other thing I hate that they changed though about PvP was that the fact that you can't lose your skull anymore at Clan Wars. You just gotta wait for the timer to be up or get PK'd. Maybe Duel Arena would lose the skull, but I'm not sure. I haven't tested that. But I think that's actually a big problem, that you can't lose your skull like that. Especially if, like, you know, a lot of the time when you PK, you know, you don't really want people to know you're a PKer sometimes. And if you can't ever lose your skull, like, you know, that's a problem. So that update actually kind of screwed me up as well. I don't really like that one. I remember I thought I was bugged or something when I first did it. Like, I went to Duel Arena like 4 times because I was trying to get some PK content. So I entered the portal and left, and I was like, are you kidding me? My skull won't go away. So I thought at first I thought it was a problem on my end. I thought I just was forgetting to walk into the portal. But after reading it eventually, I was like, wait, they changed it. So that update didn't really make sense to me. The other thing I can think of is people were abusing it to like risk fight or skull or something. That's pretty much like one of the only things that I can really think of as to why they would feel the need to change that. And then the other change was I don't know. I think that was it really, but still, I don't, that's a big disappointment, you know, because then if you're kind of scald all the time, you know, I couldn't count how many times I could be out pking and somebody attacks me first. And if they're in like OP gear, you know, then I would be a lot more willing to fight them if I'm unscald. Whereas like if you see somebody with OP gear, you know, you basically just have to tally or run right away if you're scald and risking shit. So I don't know, it's a big disappointment on my end. So, I mean, I guess if you're like a pro PK, it won't really matter, but for somebody that's kind of new or not like PKing for 20 years like some of the people out there, you know, that's a big disappointment. Alright, let's get this level. Should be 85 strength. There we go. 105 combat now as well. Sick. So 105 combat, 85 strength, and 338k until 86. Wow. Seems like a lot, honestly. 338k. I mean, it's really not that much considering we have 3 mil total. It's only 1/10 of the total XP, but still gonna take a while. It seems like a lot considering we're only in the 80s. But it scales so much when you get closer to 99, like a ridiculous amount. Alright, that's so annoying. I'll have to block that number. Oh, actually, I can't, actually. It's the second time they called my phone. They call me probably like 4 times a day. It's just like some sales call trying to get me on some scam, of course. And they eventually, like, they called me off a different number every single day. But today, they, well, not today, but they started calling me within the last, like, week or so now. Off of just no number. It just says unknown. And they just changed their numbers. So, I've legitimately blocked them now, probably. On my phone, I think I have over 30 different phone numbers from the same people that I just block. But every time they just change it. They just change it. And now I can't even block them because now it just says unknown. And you can't block numbers that aren't known. And it's always the same call every time or the same recording every time. Trying to get me on some kind of scam. It's ridiculous. But, I mean, in their defense, there's a lot of people out there that do fall for it, so... You know, I see probably like once, if not twice a week, there's people out there that fall for those kind of scams. You know, like they tell you like, hey, we can save you whatever money on this plan or this or that. So people are like, yeah, that sounds good. And then they give them all their info and then the people on the phone take your money. That's pretty much all it is. Just like those scam calls all day long. It's really annoying though. But that's the second time they called me now. That's what all that vibrating is in the background. It's just like my phone's set on silent mode since I'm streaming. You know, I don't want to have it ringing all the time. So that's what all that vibration is though. Or I don't know if this stream even picks it up, but if it does, that's what all that noise is. That's just them calling my phone. Unknown number every time. Well, not every time, but within the last week, like I said, now it's unknown. Now, I'm going to just go ahead and say, I'm just going to go out here on a random note and say that we're probably not going to get a whip this task. I mean, I've seen a lot of people say stuff like, you know, they've gotten multiple whips on a task or whatever, but I'm inclined to believe that it's not actually 1 in 512 drop rate. I mean, because I've seen many people do well over 500. Like, we're talking like into the thousands almost. And they still don't have one. I do know it's all RNG, but I just find it hard to believe because 1 in 512, that's really not a rare drop at all, considering a lot of other drop rates in the game. So 1 in 512 is really not too much. You know, that's, I would say 1 out of 512 is uncommon rather than like a rare drop. That's kind of, I would label that as uncommon. You know, so, and to me, uncommon, you should be able to get like at least one every 2 tasks, you know, or maybe every 3. The only thing I might try one day is a Kraken tentacle or a Kraken whip, although that's very expensive. Well, you basically shovel out 2 mil every time you use it. You know, once it degrades, you lose your whip, so I'm not totally sure what the purpose of Kraken whips are, if I'm being totally honest. I mean, like for Dagonoth Kings, I could see a Kraken whip being pretty useful. But, I mean, unless you're doing like maybe even raids or something that you seriously need that extra DPS. But, or even pking. But other than those few things, I really don't see the purpose of the Kraken tentacle or the Kraken whips. Or, I mean, I guess maybe if you're just super rich as well. Please, just give me a whip already. I haven't made any decent money in quite some time now. Just because my RNG hasn't been the best. I could make it into like a series of like, you know, like doing Abyssal Demons until I get a whip, but I feel like I'd do it like a week and still not get one. That's the only thing that I could see with that. What's our Slayer? 81 or 85k till 86. So that's about 240k combat XP, I guess. Wait, no. Yeah, about 245k. So it's going to be somewhat close to a strength level. Well, that's true. I'm not going to be doing strength the whole time. But if I did, 85 to 86 strength would be almost like 50% of the way to 86 Slayer, which is crazy. But I guess Slayer is pretty good for combat XP. When I was a lower level though, I never really thought I could get Slayer XP as fast as I do these days. Because I was like, man, you know, I was getting maybe like 20-30k Slayer XP for a whole 6-hour time frame. I mean, but it's crazy how fast the XP and everything scales. You know, like the scaling on the XP and the levels and everything. I mean, they did a good job. They really did. Because they make it achievable. I mean, it's like it's grindy, but it's not like an impossible grind. It's really not. I mean, we're a quarter of the way to 99 Slayer. As long as it's been now, but I haven't done Slayer the whole time. But once we max our combat stats, like that's the fastest we can get Slayer XP. If we had enough superiors, I mean, you know, technically I think you could get a superior after every Abyssal Demon. So in theory we could get like 80 plus Abyssal Demons that's superiors. Or I guess like 40 plus. So if you got lucky enough with your superiors, Slayer XP would be really good. Even one superior task is an extra 2,000. So yeah, 10 tasks, that's a free 20k XP. I don't know what the chances of all of them are, but I know Baron Spectres always give me a superior. Like 80% of the time a Baron Spectres give me at least one superior. But I would say out of 10 tasks, the Baron Spectres give me like 12 to 15 superiors. So I usually get at least 2, sometimes more. I will take all the herbs though. Thank you, thank you. We'll have to bank soon. What's our loot so far? I guess that's acceptable. That's over 1k per demon today, wow. My RNG so far though on the drop rates, pretty good. Normally I get about less than 1k per Abyssal Demon, but today it seems like it's about 2k per demon. So yeah, we'll have to go get, well I'll just go and get some potions and resupply. But no doubt we'll get to the end of this task within the next trip. Because, yes, another Ensouled Abyssal Head and 45 Law Runes. Holy shit. That's like what? Yeah, it's a good 8k, 5k. I know that's not a lot by any means, but when it comes to Abyssal Demons, that's actually a decent drop. And then when we get Slayer high enough, we could grind out some blue dragons. I don't know. How many bones is it to get to 99 prayer though? Like, let me think. It's 200 each. 5 is, yeah, that's a lot. That's like 200,000 dragon bones. I mean, that's honestly doable. Like, I could get over 1,000 in a single day. If I just did nothing but grind green dragons. You know, you could easily get 1,000 per day. You could get a lot more technically if you risked it though, and Scald Amulet of Avarice in the Rev Caves. Because you could technically stay there indefinitely, as long as you don't get PK'd. So, I mean, I guess in theory you could get that in a matter of, I guess like a month, honestly. If you Skull Cave it, use a blowpipe, and you don't get PK'd. That would actually be really nice. But I don't really see a point to doing prayer past like 78. I mean, I do, but you know, unless you're trying to max or something, there's not really too much of a point. It would be nice though, because you can restore more per your prayer points. I think it's like 33 versus 24. Like now I can restore 24 per dose of my prayer potion. And then I believe at 99 it's like 33 per dose, maybe even 34. Maybe 20, yeah, I would say maybe 30-ish. 30 to 33 would be my guess. But after this one, we'll go resupply. Before I get PK'd or some shit by the lesser demons. Alright. Alright, yeah, good. We have a stamina pot, everything's cool. I was looking around, I didn't think I had one, but we're good. Necros, I haven't got those for a while. I haven't even gotten Dust Devils in a while. I had thought for sure by now I would be 90 magic, but I just haven't gotten those tasks. But, how much is it though? We're at 5.2 mil magic XP. So we're almost at halfway to 99, I guess. About another million XP. Which is really only about 4 Necril tasks. That's really not that long at all. But I could probably get close to about a mil XP in magic every day. Maybe a little more. If I really just did nothing but grinded it out. But like I said before, I just have I don't see any purpose at the moment to getting 99 magic. I'm going to take sharks. I don't know if I had sharks the last time, but I'm going to take sharks the whole way there. 12 mil cat, 12.9 mil GP. Yeah, so 64 to go. We should definitely finish this by the end of this task. Still no whip though. Totally forgot about that until just now. I don't think I'm gonna get it. I mean, it is still possible, you know? I don't really care for whip though, honestly. I'd rather have the Abyssal Dagger, obviously, but it's like that's 1 in 32,000. It is still possible though. It is possible. Oh, 102 strength potted up. Alright, let's finish this task. Might be able to do 39s fully potted now, I'm not sure. I doubt it, but it's possible. Especially since we got our rune gloves the last time. I might just grind 70 agility so we can solo Sarah God Wars. I feel like getting those two in the same drop is probably the same chance as a whip. I gotta take a look though. It always bothers me when I get a tooth half key because I know the half keys are rare. I'm just not sure how rare. So let me take a look at this. Yeah, the half keys are 1 in 360. So we got 2 this task, so it's a little bit less than the Abyssal Whip, but that's what I'm saying. I always know that they're somewhat rare drop. So I guess in theory that could have been 2 Abyssal Whips. Damn, we own these things with Let me just drop the shark. I don't want this tooth half key to despawn. It wouldn't make sense to leave a tooth half key on the ground, but still keep one shark, so we'll just drop the shark. If it despawns, it despawns. I don't really mind tooth half keys just because it's a free 10k. You know, we got, I think 2 I said. Oh no, we got the loop the other time. Please tell me that's not more rare than a whip. Loop half key. Okay, yeah, they're still both 1 in 320 though. 1 in 324. Let's just juggle these sharks a little bit. We finally are able to eat our next shark. I don't really like to leave food on the ground like that, unless absolutely necessary, just because I don't want to have to bank again. Now, I'm 90% sure I'm not going to have to bank again anyway, but regardless. It's kind of cold here as well. Got a freaking blanket on and I still feel like it's not enough. And I think it's in like the 60s. We're supposed to get some bad thunderstorms though again today. We'll see how it goes. But right now it's sunny outside. Sun completely out. All that stuff. Probably like a good 70 degrees maybe. So I'm a little bit confused why it's always so cold in the house. There's no AC blowing or anything like that. I don't even bother picking these coins up. Now, if we were ranging until I get an archer's ring, otherwise we'd be using a ring of wealth. We have left, okay, never mind. I thought it would be a lot more, but apparently only 6k coins on the ground. 6k is nothing. It's crazy, man. That you'd think that they'd drop more than that. I mean, Dust Devils drop a lot more than that. Significantly more, even, I would say. Mythkite shield, same old. The hell, that guy's firing backwards. I always do like that kind of glitch like that. Looks always pretty cool when they do it backwards. Can we actually see the dragon though? No, we can't quite see the dragon. I do like his Skatizo pet as well, that's pretty sick. Infinity boots on. Not sure why he has a glow. Come on, man. That's our third loop. That's our third key this trip. They're 1 in 324 drop rate. So I'm saying I could have made decent money, but my RNG always kind of screws me. I mean, task isn't over yet. Task isn't quite over yet. so it's still a possibility. But I just gotta ask, like, why, man? Why me? Where's these things? I don't know why Pure Essence is on their drop table. Doesn't really make sense. It's probably something to do with lore or something like that. I know there's a lot of people that follow that kind of thing. But, you know, like, what's the whole purpose or, like, thing behind Abyssal Demons dropping Pure Essence? I don't know. You know? Who does know? But I don't even know if Jagex would know the answer to that one. Probably just like a thing back in the day to add to the drop table. They did rework the drop table on these things, I think. They would have had to because you know, they added the Abyssal Daggers, so they had to have done a little bit of change to the drop table at some point. $43 left, totally fine. Supplies still looking good. We have 8 sharks. Really isn't a lot actually, but we'll be fine, hopefully. I'll just use prayer if I have to, if I don't manage to. We'll use prayer if necessary. Or just die. I mean, I'm not gonna bank or go resupply, so if we run out of food, like, we're just gonna die if we run out of prayer and everything else. You know, I'm not going back. Come on, don't hit an 8. I think lobster is probably one of the best drops these things can give you, just because it extends your trips. Lobster, dagger, whip. Those are like the top 3 drops from Abbey Demons. Anyways, why do they drop lobsters as well, now that I say that? Pure Essence and lobster. What's the meaning of the purpose behind that? I have no clue. Hey! Another Rune Medhelm, hell yeah. What the hell? Somebody's here. Alright, we cool. So yeah, let's finish out the old task. Got a little bit to go yet, but not too much. Not too much. Now, the main thing you gotta remember though is, you know, I like to bring my super defenses these days, so to me, super defenses are key nowadays. As cheap as they are, I feel, like I said a while ago, like I just feel so bad that I didn't bring them like before. You know what I'm saying? They do save food a lot. I mean, like, significantly. I don't really go anywhere without them nowadays. You know, especially Slayer tasks like this. I don't think they make a difference though at things like blood velds or things like that because you know, they use magic anyway. So I'm not totally sure if that makes a difference or not, but you know, for things like abyssal demons and shit like that, you know, they always make a difference. Now 35 shouldn't take. How many did I do today so far though? Oh, 140 already. Wow. It really doesn't take long at all. It really doesn't. I mean, considering how much health they have, I mean, it's really not. It doesn't take too long whatsoever. HP wise, it looks like we're gonna be. We'll probably be like 87 Slayer by the time I get to 96 or 95 HP. The XP is really, really low when it comes to melee. Hit points HP is really low when it comes to melee. The other thing there's a parade today, I guess. So today there's a parade, pretty close, like almost like right outside my house. So I'm not entirely sure how that's gonna work out. The whole road's already blocked off and shit like that. You know, I live kind of in the city, so you know, there's parking meters and shit. They already have all the parking meters blocked off so that no one can get through. You know, they're already holding everything down. I don't really plan to go. You know what I'm saying? There's nothing really too exciting at the parades these days. But regardless. I mean, I might walk over later on. It depends. You know, it really just depends. But most likely not. Last time I was at a parade, you know, they just kind of drive. I think it's mainly for like people with kids or younger people. You know what I'm saying? Like the last parade I was at, all they really did was just kind of, you know, they drive fire trucks through a little bit, and then, you know, then they throw candy, shit like that. It's nothing really too exciting or fancy. And it's really crowded. It's usually hard to walk around or whatever. You always have like 20 people on every side of you. But that's why I said I might walk over though. I would never drive over when they have the roads blocked, and you know, parking is impossible if you don't live nearby. That's why most people just kind of park elsewhere and just walk all the way in. But it's crazy, man. Everybody in my whole town just gets together. Well, not everybody, but like 80, I would say probably a good 70-80% of the people in my town, they just kind of get together and go over to these like little parades. It's pretty insane how many people go to it. But, you know, most people, they just don't have anything else to do. So, you know, like we'll be like playing games and shit. Whereas like other people who don't play games, you know, I understand it. You know, there's not really anything else for them to do. Oh shit, I forgot I was 16k off. Yeah, that's not bad at all. I could get that. I could even get that 16,000 XP by the end of this task, but there's not really any purpose to doing it with the Arclight for attack, so I'll just skip it till the next one. But we've used probably a good 1,500 Arclight charges now, if not more, so it's a lot more than I kind of expected. You know, I think it holds 10,000, so about 3 tasks is approximately, you know, like 5k charges, I would say, or Arclight hits. But yeah, if the weather's bad, then I might head over to the parade. But that's pretty much the only real way that I would go over. Like if I like, cause if the weather's bad, then I'm not gonna be streaming probably. There's a few people that I know that are gonna be at it, so it's like, you know, that's the only reason I would go. I would never go to that shit by myself. I just find it so boring. But like I said, most of them, I think the people I know are just taking their kids. You know. Damn. Get kind of. My arms like. It's hard to explain. Another Addy bar. I'm gonna take a break after this. I'm gonna go eat something. So I'll be back after this. After this Abby Demon, I'm gonna take a little break. I'm gonna go eat something and then we'll come back in a little bit. Maybe. We'll see how things go. But most likely I plan to come back in a little bit, so I'll just start up a new stream, I guess. I can't be bothered just holding the stream off till I get back. So, and I also might, most likely not, but I might play Sleeping Dogs, so I'll be back in a little bit.